Good morning and welcome to the full review of the Nike Infinity Run 2. Roll the beauty shot. Now this is a full review, so if you want the rapid, fast review, then go to the description box down below and press that link. Now let's go straight into the specs. The Nike Infinity Run 2 has the React midsole, which is the longer durability midsole from Nike. It has a 33 to 24 millimeter stack height. That's a 9 millimeter drop, so that's fairly normal. It has 310 grams of weight, so it's kind of between a medium and a maximum cushioned daily trainer. It has a wider platform, but still is a neutral shoe with a guide rail. So I'm thinking it's a stable, neutral daily trainer. Now first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that's Nike telling you that this shoe will not get you injured and you can run to the end of the world and not get injured. And that is hype, it's false, it's not true. I actually got injured from the first run in this, but that's because I actually broke my 5 golden rules of staying injury free. Check that video in the description down below. It's a good shoe, it's not a miracle. So that's it, just forget about that. It's hype, it's marketing. If you're running in the Structure 22, then maybe you will get less injured. Apart from that, there's no proof whatsoever. Now let's talk about why and why not you should buy the Nike Infinity Run. So let's talk about the upper first. The upper is this Flyknit very, very thin material. It's kind of nylon-ish and it's kind of not very giving. It's not lenient in giving you the space that you need for it to fit perfectly. The only place that's stretchable is in the tongue right here. That means that if this shoe fits you, it will fit you pretty nicely, and if it doesn't, it will never do. It will not actually change and adapt to your foot in any kind of way. And it's kind of harsh and it's not very comfortable. And for me, this is like traveling many, many years back to different types of uppers from other manufacturers, and I'm kind of not a big fan. Yeah. Now, let's talk about the actual fit of the shoe. You can actually see it right here. It's kind of narrow around the midfoot here, and overall the shoe is actually kind of narrow. The only place you actually have space is in the front, right here in front of your toes, and it's not good enough in my opinion. It's a shoe for people with more narrow feet because of one very essential thing, and that is this guide rail right here, which you're actually stepping on top of if you have like a normal foot or a little bit of a wider foot at least. This is really uncomfortable, and in the first runs it wasn't that uncomfortable, but after a while I've run about 70-80 kilometers in this shoe. That's about 50 miles, and it just gets worse and worse, and putting on the shoe every time is a major letdown when you compare it to other shoes. It's just not very comfortable. It's kind of a booty construction, so it's only just like a sock you put on, and then you have a little bit of a flap here to protect your feet against the laces on top. It's actually comfortable around the top here, and it's actually very comfortable in the heel. And the heel is actually the best feature of this shoe in my opinion. It's actually good lockdown, and I've heard a lot of people not liking the Nike lockdown, and I really enjoy it. So overall, actually the upper isn't too bad. I think this shoe would be an okay fit if you have a narrow foot. So right around the midfoot especially, and not very wide here in the forefoot area either. If you have that, it won't be too bad. It will actually probably be pretty good. Now let's go into the feel, let's go into the running aspect of running in this shoe. And actually it's pretty comfortable, but there are some issues that I'm kind of not super stoked about either. It is a very comfortable, a softer kind of foam, and in the beginning I wasn't that much a fan. It got better as time progressed, and I actually kind of enjoy running in it now, but only on slower paces because it's super slow. Just look at this shot right here and you can see how much the foam actually compresses. it doesn't bounce back. It's not a springy foam. It's not like the Flight Foam on the Nova Blast or a Fuel Cell or the Fresh Foam for that matter. It's kind of squishy. It's kind of like just, yeah, it compresses and it's not bouncing back. So if you're one of those guys that want to go on slower paced and longer runs, then I'm actually not that scared of buying this shoe as a daily trainer. It's a nice, comfortable shoe. It's not springy, so that way it doesn't feel like it's fun to run in though. Now, it also has kind of a rocker. It's not very noticeable at all. It feels like your shoe wants you to be a little bit towards the forefoot. It doesn't feel like you're getting pushed anywhere. And this thing, yeah, it has close to no impact on the shoe whatsoever. On the bottom, there is plenty of rubber, but the rubber isn't that grippy. It is actually kind of slick, and compared to some other shoes, it doesn't stick to the road as much as I want it to. Overall, the feel of the shoe is good. It's a soft shoe, it's not very springy, and it's a slower paced shoe. So if you want that kind of shoe, and very important, you have a narrow midfoot, then it's actually pretty good for that. Now, if you talk stability, this is a neutral stability shoe. So it has a wider platform. That's one of the things that Nike says will reduce your injuries. It also has a guide rail around the heel, so it's kind of similar to Brooks and Ultras that do the same thing. Now, it's also fairly stable for a neutral shoe. And if you feel like a stability shoe is too bulky and it's too clumsy, then this would actually be a pretty good choice together with the Horizon 4 or 5, because they will also feel like a neutral shoe with added stability. So overall, if you like this kind of upper that's nylon-ish, super thin and breathable, and you have a narrow midfoot, then this shoe would probably be good for you if you want a slower run and you need a little bit of stability. So there's a lot of ifs here if you want to buy this shoe. And the last if is, if you want to buy this shoe, try it on and see other shoes as well, because the fit is really, yeah, it's very special. And it's kind of a shoe that only fits a very small amount of people, and the other part just buys it because it has a name. So try it on. If it fits you, it probably will fit you really well. Overall, I'm not a big fan. I'm probably not going to use it that much because it just digs into my arch too much. I'm not using it as a sneaker either. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. If you're into these kind of running related videos, then consider subscribing. Anyways, have a great day, have a fantastic run, and I'll see you next time. Bye.